There are movies that entertain you, movies that inspire you, and then there are movies that should never, ever be watched, not because they're boring, but because they leave scars you can't erase. Today, we're diving into the films so disturbing, so cursed, and so dangerous that pressing play might be the biggest mistake. Would you ever watch a horror movie even if it was banned before? Or even still is? I know I wouldn't.
Movies were banned for being too disturbing, so I'm gonna tell you what they're about. First up, we have a movie that's very controversial, because there were no special effects or prosthetics used. Everything you see in this movie allegedly actually happened. The Bunny Game. This was number 37 in Compass Magazine's 50 most disturbing films of all time, and it was also banned in the UK. So what is this movie actually about? The Bunny Game follows a worker who gets kidnapped by a truck driver, and this truck driver makes her wear a bunny mask as he does unthinkable things to her, which the actress Radeline Jetzig actually went through when filming. And the director of the movie claims this is because she wanted to use the production as a cathartic process, to really purge some of the traumas that she's had. Radeline even says she considers her acting in this movie more art than film, and that she had to go into a meditative state when filming some of the scenes.
I'm so confused. So, you're telling me that everything that happened in the movie allegedly actually happened to her? Like, if her kidnapper punched her or threw her, then he actually did? Like, it's not fake. A lot of fighting movies fake their punches and slaps, so it's kind of shocking to find out that they actually allegedly hit her.
But next on the list, we have a movie that's not only banned in the UK but allegedly 46 countries.
Bro, what's the point? If your movie is banned in 46 countries, you might as well cancel it. How bad could the movie be to be banned in 46 countries?
A movie from 1978 called The Faces of Death. This movie is about a man named Dr. Francis Gross as he studies the concept of death, telling the viewers he's become interested in the transition between life and death from a recurring dream he's had. So in a documentary-style movie, he's now filming himself in different parts of the world trying to understand what death is. Be prepared though that the scenes involving animals are extremely hard to sit through. Even though this movie got mainly negative reviews, it was actually a huge box office success, making $35 million worldwide with a budget of just over $400K. Follow for more disturbing.
Wow, even though the movie is banned from 80% of the earth, he still made a lot from it. Good for them, but the movie sounds unsettling. I don't know if people would want to know about the disturbing side of the afterlife or what happens before the afterlife. Would you watch those movies if you were offered $1 million? Horror movies that you should never watch by a movie expert. Now, before I watch a horror movie, I'm going to read the reviews and the description of it.
Here are my top do not watch horror movies unless you want to be utterly disturbed. And you might be saying, like, Monse, this is like your 4th list video. Yeah, I have a lot of horror movies to yap about, okay? Plus you guys keep recommending me good horror movies, so yeah, my bad. Let's start off strong with one that you should absolutely not watch unless you're a little sicko. Dead Girl. This movie is atrocious. Dead Girl is about these 2 high school boys that find a chained up woman in an abandoned mental asylum. And they find out that this woman cannot die. So they start to do disgusting things to her that I'm not gonna say on here. This movie is gross and unsettling. But for some reason, a lot of people praise it because they say that it's brilliantly gross. I don't know. I don't recommend it. Don't watch it.
How would people find that movie brilliant? I would never watch that movie. I don't like seeing bad things happen to anybody. The movie was made in 2008, and the reason why the girl can't die is because she has zombie-like traits to her. They tried to end her multiple times, but she just couldn't. As things spiral, their obsession with the dead girl destroys their lives, relationships, and sanity. The movie basically teaches what boys would do if they have a strong desire for something.
And for my second one, we're gonna go with one that you guys were asking me to put in my list. I'm not sure if it was because you guys didn't like the movie or because you guys actually found the movie extremely unsettling. That's gonna be Tusk. A lot of people hate this movie, and a lot of people love this movie. I love this movie. Please don't come for me. This movie is about this arrogant podcaster that goes to Canada to interview an adventurer. This adventurer man lives in the middle of the woods and has a fondness to walruses. Spoiler alert. Turns the podcaster into a walrus. The most disgusting and disturbing way a movie can portray it. I thought it was pretty sick, but I can see how people can think that it's kind of silly. It's not for everybody, okay? It's not. Maybe don't watch Tusk, because it kind of is a lot.
Yeah, Howard gives stuff to Wallace that takes him out of his senses, and surgically transforms Wallace into a walrus-human hybrid. and as well as body and mind are mutilated. Howard forces him to live like a walrus, swimming, eating raw fish, and even fighting like one.
And last but not least, we have a movie where I literally wanted to rip out my eyeballs out of my head, Antichrist. I never in my life felt such disgust and a need to run away from the room as I did watching Antichrist. Antichrist is about this married couple whose son unalives as they're doing the deed.
What, that must be so traumatic for the parents. That's a bit awkward though.
The wife starts to go through this crazy psychotic break, and the husband, who is a psychiatrist, takes her to a cabin in the woods to kind of rehabilitate her. The movie is visually disturbing and upsetting. I thought the movie was already disturbing in itself, but the plot twist, that was the most disturbing of all. That was not okay, Lars von Trier. That was not okay. If you want to feel joy in your life, don't watch Antichrist. I'm trying to do you a favor here, okay? Skip this one, skip it.
The movie included a lot of disturbing animal symbolism. The husband did try to help her since he was a therapist by sending her to a remote cabin in the woods called Eden, but instead the opposite happened. The cabin did not help her at all. The cabin around her was strange and threatening. Most of the fun movies we watch actually have a dark meaning, especially old Disney movies. When we were young, we didn't realize it was actually trying to teach us something. For example, this scene teaches kids to never go with strangers that say they can give you stuff you want.
How would you blokes like to make some real money? Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. You see? I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys. You know, the disobedient ones what play hooky from school. And you see, there's no risk. They never come back as boys. Ow, I've got a coat slow leaving at midnight.
Pleasure Island was an island where any kid could get anything they wanted if they went there, or at least that's what I think it is. But the catch is, when they go to the island and get everything they want, they become an animal after. I think if the boys can talk as animals, they get sent somewhere looking from the readings off the boxes. It says sold to the salt mines and sold to the circus. These poor boys are being transformed into animals and being sold to places where they don't even know.
Bring a nice price. All right, next. And what might your name be?
Alexander.
So you can talk.
Yes, sir. I want to go home to my mama.
Take a back. He can still talk.
Please, I don't want to be around anymore. Let me out of here.
You boys have had your fun. Now pay for it. Boys. So
Honestly, this isn't that much of a shocker to me. I've always known that Disney movies always had a darker meaning to them. But of course, I'm pretty sure some sort of kid saves all those boys from being animals and working at circuses and stuff. Every Disney movie has a happy ending, and you know what else will be a happy ending if you liked the video and subscribed. Bye bye my candies. There are many diseases you can get. But did you know some of these diseases are so bad they can kill you? Today, we will look at the worst ones to ever exist. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay healthy. The first disease we will talk about is stone man disease. So apparently if you get this disease, your muscles become bone and at some point you can't even move anymore. This video explains it really well.
This is one of the most disturbing diseases known to mankind. Stone man's disease causes muscles and tendons to literally become bone. Surgeries are to be avoided urgently, as more bones also develop from scars. At some point, you'll have to decide in which posture you want to spend the rest of your life, sitting or laying down. At some point, the bones are fused together and can no longer move. Eventually, the lungs can no longer develop due to the stiffening of the ribcage. There is no treatment.
Oh my goodness, Candies. This disease is so creepy. Like, imagine you turn into a skeleton and you can't move anymore. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. The next disease we will talk about is Hanahaki disease. So apparently if someone gets this disease, it makes them cough up flower petals from their mouth. This one is confusing, so this TikTok will explain everything.
Explaining diseases.
Hanahaki disease.
But so this is a disease mostly on Korea. So the Hanahaki disease is when the victim coughs up flowers petals from their mouth. This happen because the victim suffers from one-sided love. It can only be gone if the beloved returns their feelings or when the victim dies. It can also be cured by surgery, but the victim's loving for a person is going to disappear.
Wow guys, this one is pretty crazy, but it sounds super crazy. Let me know in the comments if this is real. But this next disease is crazy, so watch until the end. This next disease happens when a bat bites you. So there is a story about this 56-year-old dad that died because of this. There was a bat stuck in his home and he wanted to get it out, but it saw a leap at him. This boy explains it well.
A dad has tragically died after being bitten by a bat. 56-year-old Craig Nolte tried to set the bat free after it became stuck in his home. The bat then bit him, which led to Craig contracting the Australian bat Lissa virus, a virus that is very similar to rabies. Early symptoms include fatigue, a headache and a fever. This can progress into delirium, convulsions, paralysis and even death. Craig fell into critical condition for 8 months before passing away. This was believed to be the first case of the virus in New South Wales in Australia and the 4th in the country overall. New South Wales Health confirmed that Craig had received an injection after the bite, but this didn't work.
I feel so bad for this poor man. Candies, all he really wanted was to get rid of the stupid bat, but he sadly passed away. That makes me so sad. There is another disturbing disease we need to discuss. This disease can only happen to girls that are pregnant. However, it is so disturbing. This person explains it very well.
Yep, this is real and growing out of women after being pregnant. People were terrified after a woman named Charmaine gave birth to her second child, reported needing life-saving surgery as she was growing thousands of huge tumors all over her body and growing in every little crevice practically overnight. Charmaine said the growths were so big that they would block her nose and literally stop her breathing, as well as form all over her mouth, making it painful to eat, and even at the soles of her feet, making it impossible to walk.
This is so weird and unsettling. Like, imagine if you were having a baby and this happens to your body. It would make me throw up. Let's keep watching this TikTok.
I never believed it would have come out so much.
When doctors had her undergo emergency surgery, she had to do 24 surgeries, totaling 60 hours completely awake, as doctors could not find a vein to put her under. The internet then flooded with viral videos of thousands of pregnant women showing their huge, terrifying tumors after birth on their gums and all around their bodies. Charmaine's condition is definitely different from the more common but still rare pregnancy tumors that other people might get, but both scary nonetheless.
Oh my goodness, Candy. This is the most disturbing thing we have seen yet. It also looks super disgusting to me. Let me know in the comments if you think the same thing. You Candies, I was scrolling on TikTok and found a video about more diseases. Let's watch this together.
Top 5 scariest diseases you don't want to catch. These aren't horror stories, they're real diseases, and once they strike, there's no turning back. Number 1, rabies. Just one bite, and it begins. Hallucinations, muscle spasms, then the terror of water hydrophobia. Once symptoms start, death is almost certain.
I would hate to have this disease because I love water. I'm even drinking it right now.
Number 2, fatal familial insomnia. You lose the ability to sleep, not for days but forever. Your mind unravels until your body shuts down. There is no cure. Number 3, necrotizing fasciitis. also known as the flesh-eating bacteria. It spreads fast, devouring skin, muscle, and tissue. One tiny cut, and hours later, it's a race to save your life.
Both of these diseases are so scary to me. I would never want to die from something like this. This next disease stops you from eating all types of meat, which means no McDonald's or chicken, which is crazy. This video will help.
People all over the country are becoming allergic to red meat, and the crazy thing is, it's from a bug bite. What's happening is the Lone Star tick is biting people, and after you get bit by this, you cannot eat red meat. PETA is now coming out and saying they want to release these in the northeastern United States because the more people allergic to red meat, the better for their agenda. I can't be the only one who thinks this is sus as fuck. When you get bit by the tick, you can get this syndrome called alpha-gal syndrome, which makes it so you can't eat red meat. Now, some people can eat small amounts of red meat after they get bit by this, but some people just can't at all. So as somebody who loves grass-fed beef, I mean, I'm the beef guy, what would I do if I got bit by this tick and couldn't eat red meat? I would definitely focus more on chicken and fish and eggs. I'd also be curious to see how protein powders do with this syndrome. It would really suck. I'd be bummed, but I think I'd survive. The fact that this plant-based agenda wants to go so far that they are considering releasing ticks that give you a disease so people eat less red meat is insane. Red meat is a great source of protein, minerals, and it tastes delicious. Don't you love steak?
Apparently you can eat chicken, but if I could never eat a hamburger again, I would cry. I can't believe there are evil people that want to release these things on purpose. That is very scary. This next story is insane, because this person actually died on a playground swing, which is crazy. Make sure to watch until the end to hear this story.
This has to be one of the most tragic incidents involving a child you will ever hear. On May 22nd, 2015, 25-year-old mother Romisha Sims took her 3-year-old son Jaher Dano Lee to the park for some quality time. Once they got there, Romisha placed her son on one of the swings and began pushing him. All was good until Romisha started hearing voices around her and found herself in some sort of trance and was unable to lift Jaher out of the swing.
This already sounds scary. What if a monster took control of her?
And when she snapped out of it, she found herself pushing her dead 3-year-old son Jair on the swing with police officers surrounding her. It turns out Romisha was a schizophrenic and she forgot to take her medication. And she pushed her son Jair nearly 44 hours on the swing without stopping. Temperatures fell as low as 51 degrees and it was raining when she was pushing him, which caused Jair to die from dehydration and hypothermia.
Oh my goodness, I can barely swing for an hour. I can't imagine swinging for 2 days straight. That sounds insane.
During her trial, the judge found Romisha not criminally responsible and sent her free under a 5-year conditional release order, saying that she must see a psychiatrist and take her medication. This case is so sad, and can you imagine being this mother snapping out of that trance? She was probably so scared and confused and was wondering what happened to her little boy.
I can't believe the lady never got in trouble for causing her child's death. What do you guys think the next story is? Probably one of the most terrifying things I have seen in my life. In this story, a poor woman was torn into a soup, which is crazy. Don't forget to watch. Until then,
the creepiest video was found on the dark web. Part 1.
Blank room soup.
This features a man seated in a chair at a large round table, eating soup with a large wooden spoon. Later, people noticed he was crying while eating, although you can't see his eyes because they are blanked out. Tears were visible, falling from his face. People realized he was crying because the 2 masked guys forced him to eat his wife. And the food was not soup, it was her wife. And he knew that he was going to be killed by the masked guys.
This sounds so awful and sad. I was actually able to find footage of this incident, so let's watch it. This is the creepiest thing ever to me. Not only this, but there's also another video of them kidnapping someone. So here it is. This is so awful, and apparently these people are still on the loose. So make sure to stay away from anyone that looks like this.
Let's talk about
Elisa Lam incident.
Elisa Lam was known for behaving strangely in the elevator. She has strict parents who sometimes wouldn't let her travel alone or without them. But one day, she was thrilled to be able to travel to downtown Los Angeles by herself. She arrived in Los Angeles on January 26, 2013, and checked into the Cecil Hotel on January 28. On January 31, 2013, she disappeared from the hotel. Her parents were worried and tried to contact
This sounds terrifying. Imagine going missing. My parents would be so scared.
Her, but couldn't reach her. They reported her missing, but there was no sign of her for weeks. Meanwhile, guests at the Cecil Hotel started complaining about the water being black and having an unusual taste. The hotel staff investigated, and on February 19, 2013, they found Elisa Lam's body was found floating in the hotel.
My goodness, this sounds so disgusting. I feel so sad for the poor girl and the people in the hotel, because the whole time, they were drinking that girl's body, and they didn't even know it.
sports water tank on the roof. There were no signs of trauma, and the initial conclusion was an accidental death. However, footage from the hotel elevator showed Elisa acting strangely. She was pressing multiple buttons and seemed to.
It turned out the reason the girl was so scared was because she was being chased. The person that was chasing her probably ended her and put her in a tank, which is so sad. Rest in peace. This last death is the worst thing I have ever heard in my life. You cannot miss this, so watch until the end.
Let's talk about
Celine Delgado.
In the 1990s, a Mexican television channel broadcasted information about missing people. These broadcasts often appearing during commercial breaks, aimed to spread awareness of missing individuals. Each broadcast featured the person's name, age, and date they went missing. One particular broadcast, however, people were shocked. The broadcast of Celine Delgado, a woman who went missing on April 22nd in Lavaro Obregón, Mexico City, was allegedly interrupted during a children's television show. Her photo was replaced with an unsettling image. Here's a video.
Selene Delgado López, de 18 años, se extravió el 22 de abril en la delegación Álvaro Obregón. Selene Delgado López se ignora su paradero desde el 28 de mayo del año 2000. Selene Delgado López, de 18 años, se extravió el 22 de abril en la delegación Álvaro Obregón.
People were shocked because of this. It was interrupted by this man. And thousands of children were horrified.
I did some digging on the dark web and found out that this man was actually the one that kidnapped this girl and was the reason that she died, which is so sad. Comment. Rest in peace if you made it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Buy candies.